In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the host of this particular program, known here on social media and around the world as the mighty, mighty, mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother number one and your friend Taalik Ibn'rad. I would like to thank you so much for joining me this morning, afternoon, or evening, and giving me the honor of being able to listen to these few words within this next hour. I'll have a lot to cover within the next 50 minutes, so please bear with me as though it seems as I'm rushing, and really I am. I have a lot to cover. I want to talk about, just briefly, various subjects. So with that said, on this busy, let ye get busy. I want to talk about, and I have the subjects in front of me, what I want to briefly, very short commentary on each of these different subjects, ranging from, we already know that we need black unity, so-called black unity. Those of you who listen to my words, you know I don't like that word black. I like soul. We are the people of soul. Stop being caught up or getting caught up in that race crap. That's what the oppressor done. We don't trip off of skin color. Only racists do. And some of you justify your racism wannabe-ism. But I'm not going to allow myself to get caught up in the game of racism. I am not a racist. I am a victim of racism and racism. So you cannot have black unity unless you develop soul love. Love for your soul sister, soul brother, and our soul children. I want to talk about what real spirituality is. I want to talk about divine and the word temple, because I use that word and people accuse me of being spiritual or religious because I use these words, temple and divine. I want to talk about, and from that they call me a Coon and a Sambo. The Black Power Awards, want to talk about that. Want to talk about these pro-black comedic teachings. Very, it's just some questions that I would like answered. Maybe you can help me. I want to talk about these ghetto names. There's a lot of us, we feel shame, or we should not use so-called these ghetto names. I want to talk about, although I reject I don't acknowledge the existence of some God, I still want to be able to speak with you coming from your mindset. I want to talk about letting or allowing God speak through you. Why are the descendants of slaves born in America, why do we behave so childish and infantile? Let's talk about it. So you got these subjects, the topics that I want to just touch on briefly. You got it? If not, rewind, because you don't want to miss anything that I have to say. Let us talk with one another, not at each other. And why don't we just accept truth? Why don't we accept the reality of things? It only makes things more difficult for us. See, my information does not come from some God or some divine person. What I present to us is not a teaching. To teach means to train. I'm not trying to or want to train you to do anything. I offer us advice. I offer us suggestion in order that we can bring these things together and solve once and for all this horrible condition that we find ourselves in. Whereas if we don't do anything about it, the poor children that come behind us, they have to deal with it. Let us be adults. And just like Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith show used to say, let us nip it in the bud and let's stop it with our generation. And don't you know, if we can nip this in the bud within our generational period, we would be the greatest generation that our people, these dark-skinned people, no matter where they are on the earth, we would be the greatest dark-skinned people ever on the planet to come up out of this horrid condition and solve this and take us out from hell into a heavenly-like state. Let us remember, let us not be foolish. Let us not be naive to think that things will be better. Everything will be perfect and all this fantastic. No, no, no. We only want to get rid of this pink cat that has been giving us hell going on 500 years. And we do that first by the development of love. Let me say this very quickly. When I was in my 20s, there was a little girl that I met through a friend of mine. The little girl was his niece. And his little niece, I believe she was 6 or 7 years old. I'm not really sure how old. She was very, very young. And when I first met the little girl, I was on one side of the room, and the little light-skinned little girl, little soul girl, black girl, she was on the other side. And she kept staring at me. Some of you, I have probably told this story once before, but I'm going to tell it again, because I know many of you probably did not hear this. So, the little light-skinned soul child kept staring at me. And everybody in the room started noticing that this little child just kept staring at me. And so somebody said, "Why are you staring at him like that?" And this little child said, "Because he black." Everybody's like, wow, because he's so black. And actually, at that time, I was darker skinned than what you see today. I am more lighter in skin color because I was incarcerated for years, so I was not able to be out in the sun like I normally do. So I was darker skinned person back then. And she said, "He black." And the little girl was not finished. She said, "He black and he ugly." I was like, why? Everybody started laughing. You know, again, this child is 6 or 7 years old, very young child. Well, there was nothing that I could say. I'm not going to get angry and debate with a child. And so my response to the child was, well, I'm very sad to hear that. I wish I could be pretty like you. All my life, people have called me black and ugly. But if I was like you, so beautiful and light-skinned, maybe my life would have been much, much better. You know. And so she looked at me when I said that. And I don't know what was going on in her mind. But she started on one side of the room. And as time marches forward, you can see her going from sitting in everybody's lap. She's moving from this side to the room, then she ended up on my side of the room. And guess what? She ended up in my lap. Wow. And so I'm looking at this little child who just called me black and ugly. I'm looking at this little child sitting in my lap. And so I grabbed the little child to get her off my lap. And she grabbed me. She refused to be moved. And I told the little girl, I'm black. Not only am I black, but remember you said I'm ugly. Of course you would not want to sit in the lap of a black and ugly person, would you? So you need to go. So I attempted to get her off my lap, and she held on to me for dear life. And she said, no, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. And from that time on, I struck up this friendship with this child. And not having children of my own, and she, at the time, her and her biological father was estranged, I sort of adopted her as my little girl. And what I'm going to do, sorry, I'm thinking faster than I can talk. But to make my point is that it was one Christmas or something like that, some holiday, and one of her relatives came to her and told her, Taalik likes you. Taalik will buy you anything you want for Christmas. Go to Taalik and ask him for this. Go to Taalik and ask him for that. He'll give you whatever you want. And now listen, this is my point. This is how the little girl responded. She basically told them, I could care less about things. I just want Taalik to be with me on Christmas or whatever holiday that was. I don't need nothing. Oh, wow. Ooh, wow. Tears, when I heard that, because I heard the conversation and I actually shed tears. This is coming from a baby, a little child. She was not interested in things. She was interested in me, the black and the ugly. Because she fell in love with the black and the ugly. And when you love, you don't care whether that person is fat, whether that person is black or ugly, or poor, or uneducated, educated, man or woman, homosexual. When you fall in love, all those things don't mean nothing. And these who are the descendants of slaves, born in America, having dark skin, we have yet come to the point to be on the level of this child who does not care whether I drive a Mercedes-Benz 2016 or a 1974 Pinto. She does not care. She cares about me. And when I show my face and show concern for the people of soul, I'm not looking for your money. I don't care about what you have. I care about you. Whether you are fat, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian or a drunk, a dope fiend, a prostitute, whatever you are in life, I love you because loving you means that I must love myself. I don't care about those things. So the reason why there is no soul unity or black unity, as you want to call it, because there is no real love, the love that this little girl was showing towards me. You must develop love and mean it. Everybody that you love is not going to please you. They're not going to say and do things that you like. You love your mother, your father, and brothers and sisters, but I'm very sure you love them, but you don't like everything they say or do. Because love overrides all that. The things that we can learn from a child. What is real spirituality? There was something spiritual going on between me and this child. There is only one real so-called spirituality if you want to use the word. It would be better for us to become mentally connected to this one. And stop using this word spirituality, because you as a physical,
you being a physical flesh, there is no way that you could be spiritual. Spirituality is only real within the confines or the realm of the dead. And we have not gone or passed to that level of existence yet. Nor can, so thus we cannot communicate in that genre or realm. It's impossible. You are flesh and physically, you cannot do it. The only real spirituality that you can express, spirit, another word for spirit is liquor. That, I'm very sure most of y'all are very spiritual. You got your wine and your beer and vodka. I don't know all these different liquors that y'all like to drink. The whiskey, because I don't drink, never been enticed or excited about it. Liquor is called spirit. That's the only real spirituality that you know. Spirituality, real spirituality, is only your connection to life. That's all that it is. We have team spirit. I like the Bulls and Michael Jordan. You like the Bulls and Michael Jordan. We go to a Bulls versus the Cleveland Cavaliers game, and we have team spirit. We have the same mentality. I'm connected to you mentally. You're connected to me mentally. We have the same spirit. We want our team to win. We have team spirit. That's the only spirituality that's real. Your connection to life. You can also have a connection. Some of us, we refuse to eat meat because we have a spiritual connection to a rabbit or to a cow or to a chicken. We have a connection to that life. So I don't feel good consuming it as food. So I will leave that alone, and I will connect to my last choice, and that will be plants. I'll become a vegetarian. I have a connection to this planet. I have a problem with the poisoning of the water, the poisoning of the land, the poisoning of the air. I am spiritual. I have a connection because this planet is what makes me alive. It what keeps me alive. The Native American people were said to